I thought that was going to blend, but... Okay. I guess the song doesn't want to play. There we go.
Now's not the time to be a Jamaican DJ, okay?
I was trying to play both.
Bomba clock.
On that note, you know what time it is. Thursday night, favorite football podcast, Touchdowns and Tangents, live from the Good News radio station, the Good News sports station, in Hawthorne, California. I'm Pete D. Camarillo.
I'm Kenneth Berry.
And we're here to give you your favorite topical takes and tangents from the week of NFL news. We got a loaded show this week since we got off the beaten path last week, so there's a ton of football content to get to this week. That said, we got a birthday in the house.
Happy birthday, Rihanna. And myself.
Shout out to Kenny. Happy birthday, Kenny. Your birthday was yesterday, I believe, right?
Yes, indeed. I'm still celebrating it.
How was that whole experience?
From what I can legally speak on, it was fantastic. Mom and sister took me out to eat. Just when I thought this was going to be the one year they didn't sing happy birthday to me, she pulled a fast one on me. And shout out to Red Robin's for giving free birthday meals.
And did you not want to get happy birthday sang to you?
It's just like a running thing in our family that we're always embarrassed by it, because we're just always embarrassed by it when people sing us happy birthday in public that we don't know. But it's just funny every time it happens. I enjoy it though. Like, I enjoyed it. Yeah. Like, they called me with my shades off too, so I couldn't even pretend like I was looking away or trying to play it off cool. It was dope though. And I got a free ice cream sundae, so that helped. And yeah. Also, later that night, went out with some friends. 2 coworkers from my job were leaving, and we were all kind of sad. But we were, like, happy that we actually got the chance to... Because, like, people come into your life. Yeah! And you go through things together and you realize, like, damn. Like, it was a blessing me even meeting this person.
Whatever. I'll do what I want.
Like, I'm totally trying to be serious and you're just shit showing it. But nah. Yeah! Okay. You're going to get diabetes for that one. You talked about the Kool-Aid man off the air. You're going to get diabetes for that. Keep playing. But nah, it was just dope. Like, got to send off 2 fabulous coworkers in great fashion. And then when they were like, oh shit, Kenny's here. And it's his birthday. I got like 3 rounds of tequila shots. So that was great. Played pool. Won my only game. I dropped the pool. Like, I just dropped the pool cue and just walked out. Like, you thought I was going to lose on my birthday in front of women? Like, what's wrong with you? It was funny. It was a fun night.
Yeah, sounds like a good one.
From what I can speak on legally, but it was a fun night.
I'm glad you're having all these positive vibes being a year closer to 30.
Yeah, man. Like, I don't know. Like, turning 28 is just... Like, I feel like a calm and a peace that I haven't had in a while, like in years. Like, this was like the first year in a long time, probably about like 4 or 5 years, that I was A, excited for my birthday, B, was comfortable doing nothing, honestly, other than just going out to eat and kicking it with family, and 3, it just felt like I'm not as worried about the future as like I have been. It's kind of just like, right now is pretty cool, and I'm doing a lot right now. Doing more right now. Getting better. So I'm just going to enjoy right now.
Yeah, man,
I've
that's
never
dope.
really done that before. So I'm definitely excited.
So on that note, should we talk about it?
Oh, yeah. And my mom also decided for like a minute and 30 seconds to retell the story of my birth. So if you were on my IG, you saw that. And yeah, she gives me shit every time. And like every year she goes, 3 days in labor with him. And like every year, like this year she called me like a punk ass.
That's why your girl's so fucked up. That shit is overcooked.
Wow. Did you like try to say that under your breath,
Yeah, I
thinking
tried
I
to.
was gonna like keep talking?
Yeah, I tried to,
not-
and then I realized I'm speaking directly into the mic.
and then like I stopped talking, so I just
Yeah.
heard that whole thing.
Yep,
My mom thinks you're an asshole.
that's fine.
You're an
You can
asshole.
get in line.
I know y'all are you're the same sign, but you're an asshole. But anyway,
Let's talk about it.
exactly, yeah. She pretty much just every year my mom will be like, this year she called me a punk ass when she told the story, but every year she uses a different expletive, and she always like tells that story of how I was born in public.
Take punk ass over fat anything. Is that a poll? Would you really be called a fat anything or
A punk ass.
Punk ass.
But it's like she's gotten creative with like the slander, because she tells the story a little bit differently every year, and it's just like she picks one thing to harp on. It's like that's just what moms do. She's like, you were my hardest birth by far. I was, even though I was like the second lightest kid. So, and I wasn't even a big baby. I was actually like 7 pounds. I was a small baby. Things have changed now, obviously.
So can we talk about it? Because you totally hijacked my entire segue.
Yeah, I was definitely being an asshole on purpose to you for that little comment. So yeah, there you go. We're even now. Let's do this.
So on that note,
Stop breathing so heavy into the mic.
you're literally the king of that.
Oh, man. Hey.
So I don't know how you can
now
try
you
to get
wanna
on my
use-
head about that.
I mean, fairy dust cures everything. All right, go ahead.
So on that note, XFL, you got out there this past weekend. What was that experience like? What was the game like? What do you take away from it? What do you remember?
Well, let's put it like this. It was more lit than probably any Chargers game that they've had there ever. Like there's a bunch of different fans who had gear on, but like you could tell like the city like is rooting for this team to win. It was really great. I mean, they lost. The defense actually had a complete turnaround. Like they honestly held the game down. They held the Dallas Renegades from scoring down for 3 quarters. The fourth quarter was the most exciting because they scored about a combined like 30 plus points. You had Nelson Spruce catch a 44-yard bomb from Josh Johnson, who was kind of nursing an injury, wasn't really running around too much, but like late in the game, you know, he threw that deep ball, and Nelson Spruce got in the end zone for a second time and scored. The whole stadium erupted. Like people on the edge of their seats. Everybody in the press box was like, "Do we go downstairs early?" It was like we were like, "Oh wow!" They just came back in 2 minutes with like 4 minutes left in the game, and they were down like 19-9. But you know, Renegades running back Cameron Artis-Payne had about 99 rush yards, was averaging like 7 yards a carry. They couldn't stop him. He was kind of picking away at their defense the whole game. The Wildcats' run game never really got on pace at all. Elijah Hood had like 10 carries for 31 yards. Montez Carter was great in the return game. He had a 48-yard return late in the game that helped them score their touchdown that started their comeback when they were down like 19-9. Their kicker, Nick Novak, scored 3 points early in the game, so he goes on record as like the first person in Wildcats history to score. But honestly, the offense was just kind of really inept most of the game. It was like they would get some momentum started and then they would falter.
Do you feel like you watched the game that was better than USC, UCLA?
I watched a quality football game in Los Angeles, and it didn't have to be USC, UCLA. It didn't have to be the Chargers, Raiders. It was an XFL game. Like, the pregame was lit. Like, the DJ was killing it pregame. It's playing the box. I actually have a video of like 2 offensive linemen.
The box is old, bro.
Still, we know that, but just let it have its moment, okay?
The box is like
yeah. You said
its
November.
moment was last month.
You said November, but guess what? That doesn't matter
Because right now it's playing in every stadium right now across the country.
Yeah, the culture now has taken hold of it. It's like when Migos popped. Certain people were listening to Hannah Montana. Certain people were listening to Fight Night. But once Get Right Richard came out, everybody was like, oh, Migos. That's just how it happens.
That
bro.
was a whole different...
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
That's not the same thing.
It's kind of the same.
No, it's not. Because Get
Roddy
Right
Ricch
Richard...
pretty much had
Get
music.
Right Richard was on the Culture album. The other two were
way before Culture.
Way before the Culture album.
But that's what I'm saying. Roddy Ricch has been out. But like this song popped for him.
No, but I'm saying the actual song is already old.
Yeah, I know that.
That's what I'm saying. It's already old. It's already.
But I'm saying it's the same
stadiums.
type of energy where it's like people caught up to the song.
I guess.
You don't have to always be a curmudgeon, Pete.
I just don't feel it.
Of course you don't feel it because you were on the hype early and you're off it. You're off every song that like we understand. We know.
Yeah, because I'm sorry. I should be an A&R and I can listen to an album one tape and be like, oh, this is single. It's not. I literally shared that song the first day it popped up. Like, I don't know what else to say.
I mean, you and Serve literally do the same. I don't know what else to say thing. It's kind of funny. But nah, with that game, the fan experience was great. Everybody came out lit, ready to go. They have something here with the LA Wildcats. Shane McMahon showed up pregame. They definitely have something with the LA Wildcats. This could be a fixture. They just got to Winston Moss in the post game. He's just like, it's really just getting the fundamentals and techniques right. Because they were in the game. They should have won that game, honestly, by about 2 or 3 touchdowns. They just couldn't pull away from Dallas. Landry Jones, his first game back in a couple of years of playing football. 305 passing yards. The defense didn't really allow many big plays other than, there was like a couple, there was like a 40-yard pass after they got stopped at the goal line. There's fumbles, there's penalties. If the offense hadn't messed up and fumbled the ball away in the red zone a couple times, honestly, it probably would have been a blowout. But it wasn't. And the defense, as Coach Winston Moss said, he said they emptied their bucket. Defense showed up to play for 3 quarters, and they broke down. You see it when it came down to it. You were watching like basic football. You think about it, like whether it's high school, college, whatever. You could just feel momentum shifts in the game, and I thought it was great. I mean, they had like literally after Nelson Spruce scored touchdowns, like they had the reporter run on the field and ask a question right when they were trying to go for the 3-point conversion, and they converted the first 3-point conversion in XFL history. So that was good. I mean, he didn't kind of like that because he was like, yo, I'm trying to like get down here for this play. So I think they're going to iron that out. But it was a great experience. Definitely can't wait to see them play the DC Defenders this week. This time it's at 3 o'clock. Last week it was at noon. So game starts at 3. It'll be a little later, kind of a prime time deal. But it'll be really interesting. And the XFL Championship is actually April 26th, which is a Sunday, which is the day after the NFL draft is over in Houston. So that'll be interesting. And hopefully, get credentials, cover the XFL Championship. We'll see what happens. But, yeah, it really just came down to, sadly, like what I've seen with the Chargers and the Rams. They have what they need to win, but they just don't execute on the field. So I think they might steal one. No, it was literally they just weren't making plays. Like the coaching was there, the game plan was solid, it was working. They didn't allow any. The DBs were locking people up. They eventually got gashed in the run game. And honestly, all Dallas did about 80% of the game was just throw short, throw little bubble screens out the backfield, stuff to the flat. They only took 1 or 2 deep shots. And even then, one of them was like a miracle catch.